new software that we end up with that will assist this, but I could envision where any time type of records that we derive from that new system could be summarized in the right way to build into this same model, and instead of using the survey type of data, we'd have a different data, but it could still be put into the same model to produce the results.
Thank you.
Councilmember Landis.
Well, it looks like also that there's information that's gathered outside the interview that's going to be provided by the city that is coming from the Finance Department on page 14 that includes total number of accounts payable, number of accounts receivable, number of purchase orders, and other data that's going to be coming through, and square footage that each area is using that's going to be part of what can be calculated for how costs are allocated. So there will be some hard material there to be looking at for comparison's sake. To me, it looks like a really good tool for increasing fiscal efficiency, and I support moving forward with it. I wonder about the Special Projects Reserve Fund 699 and how much is left in that account right now.
Well, I'll move.
Before this.
I'll move the recommended action.
Okay. I just want to know just what portion of what's in Fund 699 is this?
Well, 699 is our special projects fund, so
Yeah.
there's, I'm not sure, several $1 million
okay.
in the fund.
So, okay.
This is just using a piece of the
A portion of
the
it.
por-
Okay.
of the interest income in it.
Okay. Got to look at the budget more. Thank you.
Did we get a second?
I'm seconding.
Well, wait a minute, I think you've made every motion tonight. You said you
You
weren't.
want me to withdraw
You
it?
weren't a crafter of motions.
You want me to withdraw it?
Further public comment on the motion regarding an analysis of our fee structure as well as how we allocate costs throughout this public enterprise. Further council discussion? Roll call.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to item 11C, consideration of annual performance agreement with the Greater Ukiah Chamber of Commerce and the Measure X transient occupancy tax, sometimes called a bed tax at our local hotels and motels. Authorization for the city manager to negotiate and execute the agreement and approve the budget amendment. Staff presentation, please.
Good evening again, Sage San Giacomo, Director of Community and General Services, and Kathleen Moeller, our Economic Development Manager, and Kathleen's going to start off our report.
Good evening. Let's see, in December 2007, the City of Ukiah entered into an agreement with the Chamber of Commerce to carry out a promotional program for the purposes of increasing tourism in the City of Ukiah on behalf of the city. Funding that that was provided for this came from the Measure X that was passed in 2006. It was the transient occupancy tax. At that time, it was 8%. It was increased 2% at that time, and 75% of that 2% was to be allocated to the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce's work on, increasing tourism. And that was for a period of 2 years. And then after 2 years, it would drop down to 50%. The remainder of that 2%, goes into the general fund. The Chamber of Commerce has just completed the first year of their work on this program. And they've been working, they put together a task force. The task force is a group of individuals. They're listed on attachment number 1 on the front page there. But this is a broad range of people from the business and different organizations within the city that have a particular interest in promoting Ukiah as a tourist destination. You'll notice on there also that there are 2 city staff members that are part of the task force, myself as Economic Development Manager, and Sherry Smith-Ferry, who is the director of the museum. Attachment number 1 is the TOT Measure X 2008 year-end report and the 2009 work plan. And what this does is it really details the measurable outcomes that were achieved during the past year by the task force and in achieving some of the goals that were laid out in the agreement. And let's see. There were a number of different products and things that were developed during that year. One of the things that actually was a handout that I don't know if you all received it, but there were some brochures that were developed this year by the task force, and there's a number of other things as well. The full list of items and things that were achieved during that plan or that past year actually start on page 2 of the year-end report. The budget for achieving all of these things was $107,611. In the packet this evening, in attachment number 4, is a list of the expenditures that were done this past year, and that's attachment number 4. It's actually the TOT general ledger from their account, paying for all of those different things that they did during the year. There's also towards, in that report, on page 3, are the proposed projects and products for the upcoming year, 2009, which many of these are a continuation of the work that's already been started this year. The proposed budget for 2009 is $114,130, and that's attachment number 3. Staff is requesting council authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute renewal of the contract between the city and the Chamber of Commerce, which is a copy of the current contract is attachment number 5. Staff is also requesting a budget amendment of $6,519.
And so there's also members of the TOT task force in the chamber here this evening that I think are prepared to answer questions, and I think we probably want to defer some time to the chamber CEO, Bert Mosier, to maybe provide a little bit of an overview. But I would like, there was some council questions asked with regards to how did we get to 75% and 50%, and these were council decisions at the time that the Measure X was going before the voters, that the council passed a series of resolutions that documented that they wanted 75% of this 2% increase in the first 2 years and then the 50%, and it outlines other factors including the agreement with the chamber. It was felt by the council at the time that the chamber was the best agency to perform the tasks that it was looking for in the scope of services, and that is subject to an annual renewal of that agreement, but it is specified through these resolutions. And I know that I have copies of these resolutions that I'll give to the city clerk to pass to you so you have for your records as well, because I know there's some people that haven't seen these and are new to the council.
Councilmember Roden.
So I have a question for you guys. When will we expect to see the first new figures of the TOT revenue? Since they got going?
Well, we already have. So it was passed in November of 2006 and went into effect January 1st for 2000. So
We have a baseline.
So we have 2000, we collected for a year while the TOT task force was formed and implementation was decided upon. And then the contract was for 2008 using 2007 funds that were collected. So we note in 2007, the 75%, which represents the 2%, a portion of that 2% was roughly 107,000. And now for the 2009 contract, which represents 2008 calendar year fees collected, that 75% is 114,000. And I think that in the email
So
that.
it's 100 and, it went from what to 114?
Where's that email?
It's right here. Oh, it's right here.
We actually passed out all